Okay, welcome Tracey Noriega. I've known you for a little while
Yeah.
in the community, and this is the first ever interview I really do for my YouTube channel. And
Well, it's an honor to be the very first.
yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm excited that you are the first one because yeah, you just came off a really inspiring Facebook Live video that you made, and I watched it all, and I saw you getting a lot of hearts and love, and that was really inspiring.
Thank you.
Why don't you just tell a little bit about yourself and this Facebook Live project you've been going through?
Yeah, I mean, I'm. Thank you for even being there. I didn't expect it to actually go as long as it did. So, you know, I was very, very nervous coming up to it, and but it went off well. So I'm happy with it. I started it because, as you know, in this community, the business community with SFM and DEA, one of the very first things when you start getting into it and learning just about all the marketing skills is you keep hearing over and over about video. And that was, I have to say, one of the first things that basically just put me off to the whole thing was video. I was like, what? We have to make a video? No. I was like, I don't need to do that. I don't have to do that. I can do it without it, right? And more and more you hear about it. And then and I'm a very practical person, so the more I looked at the facts about what engages people and what gets their attention, and especially in this day and age of attention deficit across the board, it would be a disservice. It would be a gross disservice to any business not to have video, not to incorporate it, not to use it in some way or fashion. And the more and more I was realizing that, the more and more it was getting very uneasy for me, because I hate cameras, even just taking a picture, having a picture taken of me. Like for me at school, picture day was the worst. I hated picture day. And, just growing up with everybody, okay, everyone smile. I was usually one, like, you got the back of me like this, or I was like that, or, just, as if I was, paparazzi, and, it's always been a hang-up of mine. So the more and more I kept hearing it and feeling that feeling, and then of course, our mentors, JJ and Justin and Danielle, all of them saying, once something comes up for you that, making you feel uneasy, that's exactly where you need to lean into. That's exactly where you need to go. And of course, that made me even more resistant. I'm like, hell no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And, so yeah, what happened was, again, being a very practical person, the facts were all there. And there is in our community the 90-day challenge for people to get comfortable doing the video in a closed community, right, where you can come out, so to speak. So I started there, and I started as a bit of a confessional. I started my 90-day challenge in October. So it's now what? It's now April, and yesterday I just posted, I think it was 88 I posted yesterday. I was going to tell everyone, I'm like, oh my God, I finally got it. Because I had so many periods of where, just, and whatever was going on for me. And, we all do it. We make excuses. We make, I'll do it tomorrow. I don't feel like doing it. And then of course, when you hear people go, oh, you have to feel it to do it. I'm like, well, I ain't feeling it, so that's my excuse, and then, I hit quite a few rough patches when it comes to just mindset and whatnot. And, when you're really feeling like you don't have anything of value, when you're really feeling negative, I'm like, when am I supposed to stay here? Yeah. So I had quite a few patches where it kept going, and in one of those, actually, Irene, the who holds our space for the 90-day challenge, she actually had messaged me and to make sure, is everything okay? I haven't seen you for a while. And I'm like, oh my God. So, it's been a real huge roller coaster ride with getting this one aspect. I mean, it's just one aspect of everything that we're doing in this community. And so what had happened was I was kind of asking for help, because even though we have that community, it's a very free flowing, it's not a structured one. And I just felt like I needed a lot of help on crafting, because we started hearing too in our community how storytelling is really important, sharing your story, that whole vulnerability and authenticity piece, and etc. And I wasn't really sure how to pull that off. And so then I saw, I can't remember if it was a Facebook feed or a YouTube thing, where Mind Valley, which I've taken classes with Mind Valley Academy before, popped up, and there was Lisa Nichols on doing what she calls a speak and inspire. So learning how to speak to inspire. And, just listening to the outline of the course, and they had a free master class. So I attended, and it was very revealing to me. It was basically like all the stuff that I felt like I needed to know how to do. And in addition, it wasn't just for business, it was for communicating, for relationships across the board. So when testimonials were on there, even speaking about how much it helped them, not only in their workplace, but with family too. For me, that was like an extra added bonus, that we're raising Ruben's nephew, and he's now, the teen years, 13. And, that's, again, one of those areas. And I'm like, oh my God. And again, with my learning curve as a parent. So I was like, okay, well, I could use any and every help that I can get. So I signed up for the course, and it was only 30 days, but it's been an amazing 30 days. And as she has let us know, it's not something to stop now, it's to go back, because we get to keep that course forever and go back. And I'm looking forward to going back and going through it again with new eyes, having done all the exercises, and, just continue to use those skills and, just the way she teaches about how to speak. So, and about the big thing is about using your story to inspire other people, but not just telling them a story, trying to show them a story, and also to have the end point in mind, which is, what do you want to have that speaker feel or do or be inspired? So like with today's live, I really didn't know what I was going to do. And so I put it out on my Facebook feed, just asking people what they wanted to hear, because that's the other thing. It's not about what you want to talk about. It's what other people want or need to hear. And so when they all were making their comments, I kind of took everything and conglomerated it together and decided I would speak to all those points. And that's what I attempted to do. I think I did it. And of course, it went way longer than I thought, because we only had to do between 15 and 30 minutes, and it was like over 40. Whoa. So yeah, but it got done, and I'm happy about it. And
yes, so you're concluding these 30 days today.
Yeah.
Big congratulations then. You did really well, and it didn't feel like 40 minutes. It was.
Thank you.
I was engaged all the way, and your story was very interesting. And don't we all have just a really interesting past and interesting lives to tell? And we're just so, like, when we come into this community, video especially is the most daunting and scariest thing. Like, everybody, I would think, is, and we're struggling with. But at the same time, it's the most powerful thing, because when you can get over that, and you can, because you can, how do you say, you show the people your body language, your tone of voice, your facial expressions, and your authenticity is real and you're there. You're not hiding behind a text or a blog post or something like that. So it's way easier for people to see and understand, and even to call bullshit if it is.
Yeah, totally. Very true. And when you, like we were saying, when you want to try to, when I was still stuck in my head of, I'm not doing that, I'll just make it work. And I was trying to think how I'm going to write everything I want to relate to somebody. Then you're like, well, is that going to come across? Because, even when you're texting somebody or write somebody, they can put their voice in it.
Oh, so many misunderstandings have come from those messages. It's crazy. Oh my God.
Yeah, definitely. So it's like, I could say this and I can make it be heard, or I can relay what I want to say by saying it. And, we all can do that, right? Because like you said too, then you can hear through the BS.
Yeah, and it's authentic. I remember I suggested to you I could send you a few questions, but I didn't end up doing that because I had a thought the other day as well. It will be more authentic if you just go and do the interview and without any pre-scripts or any preparation, because then you or anybody could start thinking or start script writing or come out weird maybe. So I think this is the way.
It's true. It's definitely difficult. I mean, even on doing the Facebook Live, I was like, okay, taking what everybody wanted to hear and then trying to piece it. And the best I could do was make kind of an outline to try to connect all the things that everybody wanted to know or talk about. So I just tried to do that. But even that, I just, had a paper with, kind of bullet points and filled in. And there were, a couple times I had to stop and take a couple breaths and look at it and go, where am I supposed to go? Because then you get caught up in the feed and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to look at the feed. I'm just going to stay on point. So I kind of felt bad there that I wasn't interacting or engaging as much as I could have been with the audience, but I was just so nervous. I mean, my armpits were very sweaty. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this.
So when I did the 90-day challenge, video challenge, I was in the beginning, I was terrified. So I was never doing lives, and but I ended up putting so much energy into script writing and filming and reshooting and just for a quick video in the 90-day challenge. And I ended up spending so much energy and time that I quit. And after 30 videos or so. And then second round, I did 90 videos live in the Facebook group.
Wow. Okay.
Without, most of the time, maybe I had like a word or something I thought about I wanted to talk about, but just many times I literally sat down and like full of resistance and just pressed go live.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on. You better start talking. And it worked out, and that's when I really learned and came out of my skin, and it just comes to you when you start talking. And that's how my script writing and my ads, when I shoot ads, have come out to be way more authentic. And the best ads and the best converting ads are the ones without scripts.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, and it just goes to show, like, I'm still, I haven't put out the ad, I have to admit, and getting over a lot of these hangups. And it's also about confidence. And, you just mentioned about editing. I haven't even touched on that yet. So then there's that part of that becomes a bit daunting to me about what to do. And am I going to get all caught up in that as well? So it's been right now just concentrating on just doing it, doing the video part. And, I mean, people say too, you could do the whole thing and then, find somebody on Fiverr or something to edit it for you. So if that has to happen, that has to happen. But I know the biggest part for me is just actually doing it. And it's been a hurdle. It definitely has been a hurdle. It's had to make me look at a lot of things that, about myself, and what are these hang-ups and self-limiting beliefs and the voices you hear in the back of your head about, what do I have to say that's of value? Who wants to listen to me talk about anything, so that's, that's another reason taking the Lisa Nichols course, because she said, like what you just said, which is everybody has a story and there's something there for everyone. Not everyone's going to like you, and, we're not supposed to be there to be liked by everyone, but you know what? You will attract your tribe. And I remember, I think it was Pascal who's in our group had said it, and I've heard it said many other times too. It's like there's somebody out there who needs to hear your story, because whatever you have to say will resonate with that person just enough that they will find that inspiration, or just, make it a tiny switch, or just say, I'm going to give it a shot, or I'm going to give it a chance, or I'm going to look into it. Just, it's just that one little thing. So when you think of it that way, that you're not going out there and speaking might be of disservice to someone, instead of sitting there thinking about your own self and being judged or, criticized. That's so, it's a very selfish thing in a whole nother way. And so when you start thinking about it in that aspect, then you're thinking, and if I'm sitting here saying that I'm about serving others, then how am I serving anyone if I'm not out there sharing my story? And I want to inspire other people to do whatever it is. That was the whole thing at the end of mine. It's not that I'm going to tell everybody to do what I'm doing. No.
I think that's what we call attraction marketing, right? You want to attract the ideal customer into your business, which, like Stuart says, you could go to the bar and have a beer with and be completely comfortable with. Because when you're real, they know you're real. You don't have to pretend to be something just to make a sale or any of these things. You can be totally authentic all the time because they already know you. And you attract the right persons for yourself. And that's what we want to do, right? That's the entrepreneurial journey. And to do what we want to do, and to work how we want to work, and to have the freedom we want. So I have a few bullet points here as well, and I completely forgot to let you kind of introduce yourself, actually.
Oh, I know. It kind of feels like I have after being on that Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. No, but maybe you could just give me a quick a why, how, and when, and who you came into the SFM community.
Yeah, I came into SFM community. It was September of 2017, and it was short. It was right before I got let go of my job, and I had been getting written up at work for speaking out and asking questions, and of course they were asking me to ask questions. It was one of those town hall meetings, and they wanted our feedback, or so they said, and I guess I was just asking the wrong questions. So I got written up, and some things were happening. It was Ruben who said, I don't want to alarm you, but if they are writing you up for that, you might want to be thinking about an exit strategy. And he was the one who brought up about the thought I had for a business when we were first going out. So I started looking into it and came across SFM. I had seen some videos, and I can't even say if they were of SFM or not, because there's so many things out there, and I understand how people get sketchy and not really trusting. Unfortunately, that is something you do have to take into consideration, and I wasn't completely sold on it either. In fact, I remember asking Ruben to please look it over when I was just thinking of coming in as elite. And had him look at it, and he was like, curious, skeptical, but curious, was how he put it. So we had signed up for the, giving them money for, getting to look around for 30 days.
Yeah.
And so I told him, well, we got 30 days, 30 days to.
Are you doing it together?
Yeah. I mean, I'm the principal person, but yeah, he's there. Yeah. I mean, we're both signed up, but I am the principal person, especially since now he's the sole breadwinner, because it was like literally weeks after we signed up that then I got let go. And then that's when he said, well, I guess this is universe telling you this is what you have to do. Because I was like, I mean, the day I got let go, on the way home, I was calling up a recruiter on the phone in my car, like when I, was given all my stuff and, escorted off of the hospital, I was already on the phone to a recruiter. And when I got home, he was just saying, well, maybe that's not for you. Maybe, maybe this is exactly what you need to do. You've been wanting to do it. And time's of the essence, if not now, when, right? And as I shared the story about, my mom's untimely death and other things that all of us have experienced, to know that, we don't know how long we've got here. And so it was a big a push to go for it and, really get into the community and embrace it and jump into it. So that's how I got here.
So you've been a member since 2017?
Yep, September 2017. I mean, we were signing up when you guys were coming here. We're in Arizona, and the Momentum Day was here, and we're like, what's this Momentum Day? And
oh, wow.
It didn't even make sense to us to go to it. We were just like, and then we saw the ticket price, and we're like, what? What's that about? And I'm like, I don't even know. Like, we were just coming in as elite at that point, just very basic. I'm like, I don't know what else they can do, that everything's in this package, right? Yeah. But so we didn't go to Momentum.
Wow. Because when I see you, you're quite active in the community, and I've always considered that you have been a member for way longer, maybe than me. Oh. I've been a member for 1 year, and I'm coming up to 1 year right now.
Oh, when's that?
In April sometime, middle of April, okay. I think. Yeah. So I'm right there, 1 year now. And
you gonna make a little cake and put a candle on it?
Yeah, we'll see about that. I just had a massive cake for my birthday after my 30-day juicing thing. So yeah. But what have you found in the community? How you're still here and you're still going, you still want to do it, and
yeah, you know what? The community is an added bonus. Like, I had mentioned in the Facebook Live of attempting to start a business on my own about 7 years ago, and just kind of giving up when you just saw all the things that you have to do. It became so daunting. Yeah. And the fact that everything's kind of done for you, not to say you still don't have to do things, but you don't have to go look, I have to look for email provider. I have to go look for this. I have to look for that, and figure out which one and how to do it and all that stuff. It's all right there, So for me coming in, it was about the education. It was about the education, about having the support, having the teaching, the training, the mentors, the webinars, all of that to me was the value. And so I had no idea about what added value there was when I really actually saw the community and started to, get my feet wet in that and come out and, respond to people's stuff and be on the webinars. And again, I wouldn't, since I had that whole hang up about being on camera, I would always be one of those people on the webinars just on the side. I wouldn't put my face up there. So I was always having to put in all of my questions and hope they put it in there, and I'd have to cut and paste and, keep putting it in there that they would read it, because I wouldn't be on camera to raise my hand, Yeah. But the community in short has been the most impressive. And I mean, as I said, I've hit my road bumps, and obstacles, and they're all me, which
Sure.
I remember being said at the orientation call. And I didn't really understand that when they said the biggest obstacle between you and your a business being successful is you. And I was just like, what? You know,
That's
so
it. It's just a
it
mindset
is. It
game.
really,
That's
really
all it
is.
is. And I
And so,
for years as well, I want to do something for myself where I'm the boss, where I
yeah,
make enough money so I can do. And I was looking and looking, and no guidance, no
yeah,
community, just
yeah,
man caving it, just got to solve it. And I don't need anybody's help, and just not learning or doing anything,
yeah,
basically. And that's where the community, the guidance, the world-class training, business training, and the community and the
yeah.
support continuously, I would have given up a long time ago if it
Oh, yeah,
wasn't for
yeah.
people like you, or hundreds of people that you can just reach out to.
And that's just it. You have to reach out. You know, it's there. It's just like anything else, right? I mean, the help is there, but if you don't ask for it, and we've all dealt with that of not asking for help, right? But even just, you know, the community itself has been, there have been days where I'm totally down, or, you know, questioning what the hell I'm doing and whatnot. And even if I don't personally put myself out there, I can just get online, you know, watch a couple people's videos, see their comments or their shares, and it's inspiring, just that alone, you know. And then sometimes, you know, you may see somebody who's down and say a little something to them, and, you know, then you get a thank you, you know, for that, and all of a sudden you feel a little boosted. So I mean, the community has been definitely phenomenal, and I personally can say I wouldn't still be here if it weren't for the community and our mentors. I mean, because they're awesome. Again, if you reach out to them, they are there, and they're great support and encouragement to just keep on keeping on, because as they say, there's no failure. You can only quit, you know. And I know I'm not a quitter, so you know, it may take longer than anticipated to be where I think I'm supposed to be, but then there's that whole acceptance of you're just where you are, and you know, start enjoying the ride. You know?
Yeah, we're
You
all
know?
where we need to be. Exactly. We're getting what we need, not what we want. And
Yeah, and life is always showing us exactly what it is we need to get over, to get to the next point, and it's usually getting over ourselves.
exactly. All the mentors have been exactly where you are, where I am, and they also started, and all of them came into business with limiting beliefs,
Yeah,
like Stuart and Jay as well, the co-founders. It's like, you know, he's a farmer boy, Jay, and
I
Stuart,
know.
a real estate agent, and you know, they didn't know, and they hated what they were doing, and came in, you know, also having to do all these mindset shifts. And and look at them now, what they have built for us. It's really amazing.
Yeah, I have to say with the two of them, because I mean, none of us would be here if it weren't for the two of them. And you know, I haven't met either of them. Looking forward to it at this next Momentum Day in North Carolina in June. But with regards to them, to hear how we were just speaking about authenticity, and again, never having met them in person, but seeing them, and not only in the tutorials when they do their Facebook Lives, when they do the visionary calls, of them being so transparent as well, because they'll sit there and they'll admit, I mean, here they are, you know, we're all sitting here trying to be successful, you know, and we're defining success as, you know, in a financial sense. And yet the success is really about within, right? I mean, it's really about that sense of fulfillment, you know. And they're the first to admit that you could make millions. And, you know, and they've both said, I've made millions, and I have this and that, and I have as many cars, and I still feel like an asshole, you know.
That's why I started the community.
Yeah,
They
to give
had all
back.
the money, they had all the cars and all that stuff, but then, crap, you know, I'm not fulfilled. I'm not emotionally wealthy. I'm just wealthy in my wallet and can buy a lot of things, but it won't like fill the hole. So they realized through giving and helping, that's where the real fulfillment was. And that's beautiful how they are just putting themselves out there for us.
Yeah, definitely. And sharing all their skills. I mean, that's a huge thing. And many of us in the workplace have seen that, where, you know, we are to get trained by somebody, right? And they don't want to give away all of their knowledge, you know, as if it's going to work against them in some way, right? You know, they'll tell you just so much and not all of it. And it's like, it's those things where people don't get. If you gave everyone the knowledge and tools and understanding you did, you know, it's not a competition thing. You know, it's not a competition thing. It's us boosting each other up to be the best that we can be, and you know, and pay it forward for that, which is like why, you know, Ruben and I came up with our business name is Pay It Forward Marketing, because whatever it is we're going to end up doing, that is what our why is we want to pay it forward. We want to give back and give forward for what we've both received all during our lifetimes, with all the different mentors we've had. With, you know, we wouldn't be here without their help, and we want to be, you know, of assistance and support and inspiration to others, and that they would do the same, and so on and so on. So, yeah.
Nice. Oh my God, I can't believe you are not video marketing. You are so, you're so well-spoken, so comfortable, and such an inspiring person. I mean,
well, maybe that's because I'm sitting here with you, Dennis, and I feel so comfortable with you.
Now you're going to do YouTube. Yeah, just get started.
Yeah, just getting started. I mean, and like I said, you know, I came in this with an idea that was 10 years old, and now having done the Lisa Nichols thing for 30 days, it coincided with, as you know, in our business group, we were doing the London challenge, the mind, body, and spirit, right?
Yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah, that Mitch and Noriega, and that was a whole nother thing. So a lot of things came out of that. You know, for anyone that doesn't know, they asked us to really concentrate on mind, body, and spirit. And so I picked, you know, something for each of those. And so Body with Health was about, I'm pretty good about working out, but I don't always do it or make it a priority, and will, you know, okay, you know, and let it slide. So it was just making sure I was going to do the 5 days a week, right? And that I was going to get my water. That was another thing I was watching that I wasn't getting all the time, was hydrating. And living in the desert, you need to even extra hydrate. So that was one thing. And then with mind, for me, was, you know, getting over the whole, the video thing. So I was using that Lisa Nichols course as my way of getting to the mind, because I knew that was holding me back with doing these videos, with trying to get an ad out, you know, and there's no trying. You either do it or you don't do it. And I kept saying, I'm trying. It's like, no, just do it. Yeah. But I saw what was holding me back. So I'm like, okay, I have to address this. So that was for the mind. And then spirit was, you know, I do have a meditation practice, and I just wanted to deepen it a little more. So I was doing a little more journaling, a little more visualization, and then adding an evening meditation too. Even if it was just 5 or 10 minutes, but just do something at the end of the night, you know. And a lot of times that looked like in gratitude, or just kind of rerunning the day and, you know, forgiving myself for things that didn't go exactly how I wanted, or being hard on myself, and then just being grateful for, you know, where we were at. And so that really was awesome. I saw so much more that I wasn't doing, and we tell ourselves we're doing stuff and we're not. So like even in health, it came really forward for me that I was not sleeping. You know, my sleep is like, I'm a nocturnal person. I'm more an evening person. And you know, when you have kids, you can't really be an evening person. It's nice because it's quiet, right? You put them to bed, but then you have to get up early to get them on the bus and do the whole thing. And I was whacking myself out. It was just like, you know, and then I'm hitting the coffee thinking that's going to help, you know, oh, just 2 cups, you know. And so I was, you know, having to come to terms with that, you know, and really go, all right, you are not, you know, Ruben's like yelling at me coming out at 1, 2 in the morning, go, what are you still doing on it? I'm like, I'm in the flow. And he's like, get into bed. You know, and then, yeah, with the mind stuff, you know, looking at the Lisa Nichols course just brought so many things out. And I think that's what helped make this like break, where I really realized that I got in this for an idea that's 10 years old, but I'm not that person anymore. And it's not really, when I look at it, it's not really what I want to do. So even though my why hasn't changed, and you know, the what of being of service hasn't changed, it's now the big thing is, well, how am I going to serve? Like, how is that going to look like? And the other thing is, how do I want to feel? You know, how do I want to feel every day? How do I want to serve? How does that look like? And so it's a different perspective. It's a totally different perspective to come from, because we are always taught in the visualization, you know, feel it. And it's like, okay, well, what do I want to feel? How do I want to be spending my day, you know, being of service, and looking for that. And sometimes there's some answers that come up that you're like, no, you know, how you were just talking about with video and stuff. And, you know, I've had some people say, well, why aren't you doing, you know, something on a YouTube channel? And I'm like, because I'd have to do videos. You know, but again, maybe, you know, I may have to look at that and go, maybe that's a quicker way of getting it out there, Trace. Maybe that's, if people are resonating with you and you're connecting with them, even if you're doubting yourself, you know, the proof's in the pudding, right? So if people are telling you, sometimes you got to listen to the people, you know, we keep hearing, don't listen to what people are saying. And then sometimes you need to listen to what people are saying, because we're not telling ourselves the real truth.
That with the video thing, I was literally, just as you said, when friends showed up with cameras and they were like, hey, I'm going to film you. I was just like, I was getting angry. I was like, get the camera out of my face now. Like, I have a right not to be filmed right now. I was extremely self-conscious about being on camera, and because that could show people that my insecurity. You know, and the more I was resisting and saying I don't want to be on camera, obviously I was showing my insecurity more and more.
Even more.
Oh, yeah, even before. So that's been a huge leap.
It is.
You know, and now I'm, you know, making video ads. I'm having like a little bit of a crack at this YouTube channel, and it's crazy. The personal development that I've gone through with this community is amazing. I've had the meditation and all that stuff going on before. I've done the Vipassana and these things like long before the SFM, but this has really amplified all of those things because it's on a daily basis of interaction with people and community, and showing up to wake-up calls and helping others already in the community, and being vulnerable and sharing story and receiving help. And it's just a continuous flow and growth. Like, so.
And you know what, on that point with the growth is, you know, we keep getting reminded, and you just said that it's yes, look at the growth we've had, you know, we forget to celebrate, you know, we may not, you know, be where we think we should be, or where we wanted to be, or what we had sketched out to be. But the fact that, that now I don't have to run away from a camera. You know, now that I could even be doing this interview with you, I mean, that was not possible in September.
I literally do this sometimes whenever I feel like I'm stuck or I'm not going anywhere. I just remind myself, okay, where were you last month? And the month before that, and then 6 months ago, and then 1 year ago. Okay, you're fine. you know, it's like watching your kids grow. You don't see it every day.
It's true. Yeah.
But when your relatives come 2 months, or you know, the smaller they are, like my kids, if their relatives don't see them for 6 months, it's like, oh my God, you're so big, and that's what's happening with us as well. But it's just more.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. And I think the other thing, you know, how you were saying, we have our habits that we knew were good, that are helping us, but like seeing how to deepen them, you know, how to deepen our practice and bring it out. But the other part of it too, that, you know, has come out, you know, during this period too, Ruben and I had attended a high performance academy from Brendan Bouchard. And it was just saying too, realizing, and that's been a big slap in the face, is if you want to be this, you know, we're looking to be here, right? We know we want to be elevated, our elevated self, you know, a person above where we're at right now. Well, then guess what? We can't keep doing what we've been doing to get there.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just not going to happen. You can't get there from there, you know? And so you have to step up your game. And again, it comes back to that whole, you know, radical responsibility to look at where are you holding yourself back. So, you know, the example about putting off the videos, you know, I could sit there and justify it and make excuses for it, but that's all it is. And, you know, really getting that self-introspection to why am I resisting it so much? Like, what is behind this resistance? And then just looking at your habits that you do have to upgrade. You know, we're running on as you upgrade your phone and your laptop, right? Every couple years, and yet we don't do the same for ourselves. We're just sitting here doing the same old, you know, and thinking it's going to get us to where we want to go. And it's like, no, dude, you do have to be uncomfortable. You are going to have to make sacrifices. You are going to have to up your game. And
all the successful people, that's what they have done. Like, I mean, Albert Einstein said, trying the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result is insanity. And like, you know, the Satori Prime guys, Elon, you know, they're all about this. And as soon as you feel resistance, go there, you know, and just break through it and overcome it instead of running away and going back to the comfort zone and these things. And Brendan, he's an amazing guy. Just finished his book, the Motivational
Manifesto. Yeah, isn't that great? That's the first one I ever read from him, and I love how it's written too.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So they all say the same thing, and
they do.
Yeah, I'm really.
And that's the biggest thing all of them say about going back to community, about getting into a circle of influence, about people who are, and that's, you know, I guess that was something I kind of missed too, saying on the Facebook Live was, you know, you do have to look, and it's not as a slight to the people that you're hanging out with now, you know, it's not meant to be that, but they're not going to get you to where you want to be. You know, I mean, some of them may at least be encouraging and supportive, you know, and believe in you, but they're not going to give you the skills, and they're not going to be, you know, the example that you need to get to where you got to go. So you have to look outside of that circle. And that's another thing that the community, you know, that it's priceless about them, because you can meet people who are exactly where you're at, people who are, you know, just a little bit ahead of you and making some traction and willing to help, and then the people behind you that you're going to turn around and be of inspiration and encouragement for them. And then we've got all the people on the top who are there to just expound and help you with how they got there and remind you of, you know, they've been there, you know, been there, done that. It's okay. You're going to get through it, you know.
Because the people around you now, they might not even encourage us in what we're doing, because they see it as a scam or a, you know, dangerous, or, you know, or they might be having their limiting beliefs come out because they are scared that somebody might make it because they had the courage to, and they are still stuck.
Yeah.
1 year later, and the other person has succeeded, and then they have their I could have, I should have come up. So it's tricky. But as long as there's no quitting, there's no giving up, there's no quitting. So there's only success left on the table.
Yeah, and it's a huge mind shift. Like when Jay was talking during the visionary call about this being, just like an industrial revolution, it's a technological revolution, right? We're in a whole nother era where it's moving to that. And, and it makes me think, historically, like if you look, I mean, and the United States isn't the only to have this in their history with slavery, but if you just look at that, and we fought the Civil War to end slavery, right? And of course, all the slaves wanted to be free. And if you kind of look at that like us right now, we all want to be free from the man, right? Instead of the master, it's now the man, right? And then when it happened, there they all are. Everyone's free. And what had happened even then? Some of them even questioned, maybe it wasn't so bad working, but and so what? A lot of them went back to work and make a contract, Okay, well now I'm making a contract just like we do, right? We're all making contracts with our employers, right? Whether we're at will, etc. I'm going to work for you this many hours. I'm going to do this for you, and make this agreement. Okay. Yeah. But, there were the ones who talked about, I want to have my own farm. I want to have this. And then you're confronted with it. Oh, wow. I have to get all the seeds. I have to do all that. I have to, get horses and hay. I mean, there's a lot with it. And it's huge. I mean, when you want that freedom, then there's all that stuff that comes with it. Mm-hmm. And it's no different for us in this, what we're doing here. You have to, let go of those shackles, those chains, and, open the mind there, and find community that you can do it with. It's like, we're not meant to do it by ourselves. It's not a all for one kind of thing, we're not alone, right? We keep hearing that you are not alone. And there is the help around, and there is the encouragement, but it does take a huge mind shift. And like you were saying, a lot of people are not going to be on board, and I understand that. Hey, I miss my paycheck too right now. I miss knowing that there's going to be something in there. But when I think about just even going back out to go do it, and I'm like, I'm going to get paid how much to do what? And and then that starts going, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, I got to make this work. I got to make this work, and there's, again, the motivation, right? The fire under my ass to make it happen, and get over my shit, because that's the only thing that is keeping me from doing what I can be doing, right? So, if that's of any encouragement to anyone, it's just stick with it, stick with it and persevere, right? Persevere. And, I mean, if your heart's in it and you're doing it for the right reasons, it always works out somehow.
If the why is big enough and solid enough, and the how will come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, that's it. Trust, persist, and progress. And keep doing that, and you will advance and you will succeed. As long as your why is big enough. Mm-hmm. And if you need to remind yourself of your job, that's a very good reminder.
Yeah.
Because our jobs have limiting, there's a roof of income. Even if you became your own boss in that job, you would still not be doing much more money, but you would probably be working more.
And unfortunately you end up making less, because then when you go in management and then you're salaried, and then you're putting in more hours, and you do the math and you're actually getting less money.
My former boss, he said that he was leaving his kid in kindergarten so early, and he was always the last one to be picked up. And his kid always there alone, all the kids gone, and him picking him up every day. It's really sad. So yeah, that's a big why. When we have children, the why is not far away.
Yeah, yeah, it really is.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I think we can wrap it up, hey?
Yeah,
That was
it's been
really,
great.
yeah, that was really awesome. Got some really nice nuggets from that. And yeah, you'll be on the YouTube now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so did you want to talk about what you're doing on your YouTube?
I think I want to focus, keep this for you.
Okay,
And
well, we can shut this down and then you can share with me.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you so much for showing up and helping me as well. And it was really
Of
nice to
course.
talk to you, and you will inspire many on your journey for sure.
Well, thank you. And thank you for the opportunity. And yes, for anyone who's listening, follow your heart, follow your dreams, and just know, so, you know, the universe will support you. You can't figure it all out, and don't try to, because you'll just be wasting your time, energy, and emotion. So just stick with it and feel it, and it's a hard thing. I know I have lots of trust issues of having trust it's going to work out, and belief that it's going to work out. But that's part of the process too. So
Together is always better as well.
that as well. You are not alone.
All righty.
Thank you so much, Dennis.
And thank you again.
All right. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.